Let's talk about DNA.
When we talk about DNA, two important figures comes into our mind, namely James Watson and Francis Crick, because they were the ones who came up with correct structure of DNA, and for that they were also awarded Nobel Prize in 1962. But did you know that there was another important figure who played a vital role to come up with their correct structure of DNA? And that figure was a woman by the name called Rosalind Franklin. Now, Rosalind Franklin was born in 1920s in London, and from a very early age she was interested to pursue science, and she wanted to become a scientist. And then she became one. She sailed through college, and she also ended up getting scholarship in Cambridge to pursue chemistry, and that's where she earned her PhD. Now in 1950s, there was this craze amongst the scientists to get the correct structure of DNA, because they believed that finding the correct structure of DNA would unlock the key to the mysteries of heredity. And amongst them was James Watson, who was this American scientist who wanted to pursue the same goal like the other scientists. So he moved to London, and that's where he met Francis Crick. And they formed perhaps one of the powerful bonds in histories between two scientists. So that's where they were working to find the correct structure of DNA, but somehow their prototype of DNA did not make sense. Initially, they believed that the DNA was triple helical in structure, and that the backbones were inside, not outside, as we know today. So the bases were protruding outside in their initial prototype. And later on, they met Wilkins, who was working at King's College London. So in 1950, Rosalind Franklin, after studying X-ray diffraction in Paris, she was lured to join King's College in London, thinking that she would lead the team that were studying the structure of DNA. But Wilkins at the time was already working on the structure of DNA. So he thought that Rosalind Franklin, when she joined King's College in London, he thought that she was there as a junior colleague to help him with X-ray diffraction. So they did not get along well, and the academic world did not take women seriously at that time. So at King's College in London in 1951, using X-ray diffraction, meaning shining this powerful X-ray on this weight structure of DNA, Rosalind Franklin came up with the most famous X-ray picture of DNA known as Photo 51. So Wilkins, without the knowledge of Rosalind Franklin, showed the photo 51 to James Watson and Francis Crick. So James Watson and Francis Crick, when they saw this picture for the first time, everything made sense. Their initial prototype, which says 3 helical, was actually not correct. Looking at this photo 51, they now believed that DNA was actually double helical in nature. The backbones were not outside, they were actually inside. So the bases connected well, and then they were able to come up with the correct structure of DNA. So for that, they were awarded Nobel Prize in 1962. However, Rosalind Franklin was never credited for her work by the scientific community. And by 1958, she was already dead because she was exposed to too much X-rays when she was taking the picture of that DNA. So in 1958, she died unfortunately, and the scientific community forgot her. But we are here to honor Rosalind Franklin because of her amazing work. James Watson and Francis Crick were able to come up with the correct structure of DNA.